So many of us think that writing about our past means we have to take this big, chaotic story and just force it into a perfectly neat order. But what if that's not the point? What if instead of forcing it, you could just build a safe container for it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore right now.
Yeah, there's this huge fear, right, that to write your truth, you have to just reopen every single wound, that healing has to be this big public spectacle. But I'm here to tell you that is absolutely a myth. Your story does not demand that you bleed publicly just to be true.
And listen, this is so important. Writing can be this incredibly profound act of healing without ever becoming a chaotic reenactment of your pain. See, the goal isn't exposure. It's about restoring your own sense of coherence. It's about finding clarity for yourself.
Okay, so how do we do this safely? I mean, really? Well, it all starts with this one absolutely critical distinction, and that's the difference between writing about your trauma and writing from within it. Seriously, understanding this one thing is how you start to reclaim your agency in the whole storytelling process.
Think about it like this. On one hand, you have writing from trauma. That feels like being swept away by a wave, right? It's just chaotic, it's reactive. But on the other hand, there's writing about trauma, and that's like being in a lighthouse. It's intentional, it's reflective. You are in control, and you have a choice. And that is where you find your voice.
And that is the crucial shift in mindset. You have to remember, you are the host of your own story. You have all the authority to decide which doors you're going to open and which ones you're going to keep closed. You are in control of the boundaries.
So, this brings us to a really powerful technique, grounding over flooding. A lot of writing classes will teach you to use sensory details to ramp up the intensity for the reader. But here, we're going to flip that script. We use them as an anchor for you, the writer.
Yeah, the goal here is not overwhelming intensity at all. It's about finding one single, precise detail that can anchor you in the memory, keeping you safe, keeping you observant. Trust me, one solid anchor is so much more powerful than a chaotic flood of emotion.
So, for instance, instead of trying to describe the huge, overwhelming feeling of a difficult moment, what if you just focused on the warm mug you were holding? See? That one specific sensory detail, it grounds you, and you completely shift the question from what destroyed me to something so much safer, so much more generative. What stayed with me?
Okay, now I know what you might be thinking. Structure? Outlines? Don't those kill creativity? I get it, but I want to offer a reframe here. Because for this kind of work, structure isn't a restriction, not at all. It's actually a form of safety. It's that very container we talked about right at the beginning.
I mean, have you ever tried to write your story starting from, chapter 1, I was born, and then just gotten completely stuck? Well, there's a really good reason for that. Our memories just don't work that way. They don't move in straight lines. They curve, they cluster, they connect in all these different ways.
And that's exactly why we need a tool that actually honors the real shape of our memory. This is where the containment mind map comes in. It does exactly that. It's a nonlinear tool that mirrors how your memory actually works, which lets you capture little pieces of your story as they come up, without all that pressure of a timeline. It lets you engage with your story, without being consumed by it.
Okay, so once you have this mind map, and yeah, it might look a little chaotic at first, something pretty incredible starts to happen. You're not just looking at a jumble of memories anymore, you're looking at the raw material of your life's most powerful messages.
And this gets to a question I hear all the time. Why would anyone even care about my specific story? And the answer is this. Universality doesn't come from big, vague ideas. It actually emerges from specificity. All those big truths that connect us, hope, resilience, loss, we find them in the smallest, most honestly examined details of a single person's story.
So really, your story isn't just about you. When you can articulate your specific truth with real clarity, it becomes this source of insight for other people. By finding the meaning in your own experience, you end up creating a message that can resonate with so many others.
So where do you even start? It's simple. Here are 3 super manageable steps you can take this week. I'm talking just 3 minutes to find one grounding detail, 10 minutes to start your mind map, and then 5 minutes to just record yourself speaking the lesson you learned. See? This is all about starting small and, most importantly, starting safe.
And as you begin this work, please remember this. The purpose here is not to perform your pain. It's not to prove how much you survived. The real goal, the true goal, is to take all these fractured experiences and gently weave them back into a story that makes sense to you.
It's all about restoring your own internal balance.
And let's end on one final, and I think crucial, thought. Vulnerability is not an obligation to share every single detail. You don't owe the reader everything. You are the gatekeeper. And the main responsibility you have, it's to yourself. It's to the clarity that this whole process can bring you,